So now I'm going to move on to evaluation of the hand grip strength test. So as you can see, I clearly have marked out on the screen. The client score was 51.2 kg, which compared to normative data is good. So as evaluation, so I can see my client has a respectable forearm strength. Obviously, the hand grip strength test only measures like forearm strength because the protocol is squeezing down on a dynamometer. And strength in rugby, obviously, like having good forearm strength in rugby is really important when it comes to doing things like making long passes. And obviously having overall good strength in rugby for making tackles. Muscular strength is really important, having muscular endurance. But as you can see here, my client seems to have a respectable good strength. So the only thing I can really say to help him maintain is just to ensure that he's regularly going to the gym and working through strength work. I can send him a kind of training program as a way of improving, not improving, but maintaining strength. So especially like the leg areas and upper body. But as you can see from the result of the hand grip strength test, my client, we don't need to worry about improving strength. He obviously is doing well at maintaining a good level of strength, so there's nothing to worry about there. So we've got evaluation of the sit and reach test. So for my client's score, he got 33 centimeters, which is compared to normative data is above average. So it shows he has a good level. Above average is good, but there's perhaps some improvement. There's always areas of improvement, so some work can be done to help improve his flexibility, to maybe get it up to good and hopefully even excellent. So flexibility is a crucial component of fitness for increasing range of movement, and also prevents muscle pain and risk of injury. So especially with the amount that he's training, it's really important that he maintains a good level of flexibility, which he's obviously kind of doing already because his score came up as above average. But maybe there can be some more to ensure that he's really making sure he's preventing that any kind of risk of injury, and also that his range of movement is top notch. So a few strategies for helping to maintain flexibility. So I just here, as I got on the top of the slide, rugby is a sport that puts a lot of strain on the body, so regular stretching to maintain flexibility is really important. So stretching may not be the most exciting part of working out, but doing flexibility work is just as important as doing things as fitness routine, strength routine, and cardio work. So it's not sometimes perceived as being as important, but it's super important to, like I said already, to maintaining a good range of movement and also preventing injury, especially with the amount that my client is working. So what I've said that he should do is after every single training session, whether it's a gym session or an actual rugby training session, that he spends at least 20 minutes stretching, and he needs to hold each stretch for 40 seconds. Obviously, if it's like a hamstring stretch, 40 seconds on each leg. Really important to ensure that all stretches are completed with correct technique. Because if some stretches aren't done with correct technique, there's actually a chance you might be damaging the muscle tissue. So correct technique is really important. A few of the examples of stretches to be subscribed are like lunging hip flexor stretch, figure 4 stretch, seated hamstring stretch, some of those basics. I'll send him a whole list of ones to do that are specific to rugby, especially some of the areas that he's working. But yeah, it's really important after every training session. I can't emphasize enough that he's stretching for at least 20 minutes to really remove all the lactic acid that's built up, to help repair the muscle tissue and preventing any muscle strain or injury. Because the last thing he wants is gaining a calf injury, for example, and putting him out for 4 or 5 months. So stretching is vital. Also, I've just got in the bottom here for 10 minutes using a foam roller. So foam rollers don't specifically help with flexibility. However, they play a really key part in helping with loosening the muscles and injury prevention. So maybe after he's done his stretch routine, spend around 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, rolling out um, different areas of his body with the foam roller. Again, I can send him a prescription of different exercises, foam roller exercises to do on the different and various different parts of the body. But they're a really good way of ensuring that muscles stay loose, and they're also another way of preventing injury. So yeah, that's all for maintaining flexibility. And finally, then, it's the evaluation of the yo-yo test. So my client score during the yo-yo test, he got to level 14.2, which actually is below average if you compare it to normative data. It comes out as below average, so aerobic capacity is obviously something that needs improving massively, especially due to rugby matches being more matches being 80 minutes long. So aerobic capacity needs to be at a really high level to be able to perform at his best level for the whole match. If his aerobic capacity isn't at a high enough level, which it clearly isn't from the result of the yo-yo test, there's a chance he's going to fatigue really early on in the match, and as a result of this, he's not going to be able to perform to his best of his ability. So a few strategies for helping to improve his aerobic capacity is interval training. So I like him to complete interval training 3 times a week. So interval training is similar to endurance training. Interval training makes your heart more efficient. It increases the amount of blood that you can pump, which provides you with more oxygen. So aerobic capacity training is all to do with improving your the amount of your cardiac muscle as a way of being able to pump more blood a lot easier, to ensure that more oxygens get into the working muscles, which will help him during an 80-minute rugby match. So one example of interval training is very simply just marking out a 75-metre area, and I'd like my client to sprint flat out for 75 metres, then take a 30-second break. So that could be walking back to the start line, or he could simply wait at the other end, have a 30-second breather, and then sprint back down. Complete 5 reps in one set, and complete a total of 5 sets in total. So this would be a really good exercise in improving stamina and aerobic capacity. It's going to be really tough on the body, but hopefully after he's done this over a long period, we should see some real improvements in his aerobic capacity if he sticks to this training program we're going to prescribe him. And also then a second strategy could be simply steady state exercise. So completing this 3 times a week. So steady state exercise is exercise without any rest. So not like interval training, there's no rest in between. It's just flat out exercise. When I say flat out, it's actually completed at a low intensity. So it's below 80% of your maximum heart rate. Obviously maximum heart rate can be calculated by 220 minus age. So work out my client's maximum heart rate, and then ensure that he is working below 80% of this for it to be steady state exercise. So what I'd like him to actually do is complete any kind of steady state exercise for a total of 35 minutes 3 times a week. So it could be something like running, or a bike in the gym, or it could even be swimming. But preferably I'd like him to be doing running as much as he can, because it's a lot more sport specific to him. Because obviously in a rugby match he's running, he won't be swimming or on a bike. So if we can try and keep it as sport specific as possible, that will obviously be another advantage, as well as improving his aerobic capacity. It will improve his ability to be able to run over a long period of time, which is going to be really influential for him in the long run.